Hey guys, it's Kelly, AmbulanceGirl77, and I'm gonna show you how I made this giant topiary. Obviously it doesn't all fit in frame at once. Well, it would, but I had to be standing across the room, so. Anyway, there's a few supplies. All the supplies are easily accessible. There's nothing special, and yeah, probably stuff maybe you have laying around your house. Anyway, so we'll get into this right now. Yeah. Alright guys, so we're out of the kitchen and we're back in the craft room, and this is the supplies that you're going to need. You need a bucket to put your creation in. You need a dowel. You're going to need, this is the styrofoam ball. This one is the 6-inch I picked up at the Hobby Lobby. This is the dowel that I use, and it was $1.29. It is the gray top. They're painted. So the gray top, and then mine's been cut down because I want this to go to a certain place, and I'm got a height challenge. You're going to need, obviously, you're going to need some ornaments. I like to pull the thing off of it.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Something's wrong with Alexa. Who knew? Anyway.
I'm having trouble.
Cancel, Alexa.
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Okay. Anyway, you're going to need garland. And then a low temp hot glue. And I used a couple of these. These are floral pins. So this is so you can pin floral into foam. I used it to pin my bow into the foam. But you could use other options. You could probably use wire, or you could probably hot glue it in, whatever you want to do. And that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, that's totally it. So, okay, let's talk about this. My husband is just super extra, and when I told him what I wanted and what I needed, he said, oh, we'll just mix up some Quikrete. That'll be simple. So we're out there in the garage mixing up concrete. So this is full, ooh, whoa, shouldn't do that. This is full-on concrete. Oh, my cats are having a fit over here. Full-on concrete. It is heavy. I don't think you have to go this extreme. You could probably use sand. You could probably use a sand bag. You could probably use rocks or stones or rice, maybe even. It just depends. You have to remember that the top is really top-heavy, so you don't want it to sway over. So that's why he did what he did. That being said, the Quikrete was, I don't know, $5 or $6 over at the Home Depot, and it was super simple, and it took 24 hours to set up. So, you know, you have options. Anyway. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to change some things around and be right back. Okay guys, I am back, and apparently my camera died while I was doing the first part, but I'm just going to briefly talk about it. I took a craft knife and the piece of cut off dowel. I drew a circle around the dowel where I wanted it. I took a craft knife, cut it, and then dug it out with some craft tools. Super easy. I've got it to go about 4 inches, deep, 3.5 to 4 inches deep, just because, you know, it seemed to be enough. I am not securing the dowel in because I want my top to be able to come off when we store this. So that it'll just make it easier to store since it's in a concrete bucket. It'll be easier to store if this top piece comes off and it can be put, you know, better protected. So, I put the first 4 on, and yeah, I can't believe my camera died. I didn't even know it. It didn't even make a noise. Anyway, I keep the dowel in because it helps me maneuver this thing around. It gives me a place to kind of prop it up, and it also keeps me from covering that hole up with another bulb. So that's that. Anyway, what I had mentioned before was when I tried to do this the first time, I was trying to dig a little hole into the styrofoam for these. Hot glue stuck to me. For these pieces to kind of push into. It didn't work great. I didn't like it. The angles were constantly different depending on how the hole was dug out. It added on a ton of time, so I ended up just going to hot gluing these things down, and it's working fine. I'm using I'm using a regular low temp glue, and I haven't had any struggles with it. It dries pretty quick. You hold it and no problem. So yeah, so you have options. You know, if you wanted to use a different glue, you can, but I haven't had any problem with melting the foam or the ball or anything. Now you're going to have glue strings with this, and try to refrain from grabbing the glue string before it gets dry, because once it's dry, it'll come right off. But if you grab it when it's wet, what it does is it leaves a streak of glue across your shiny ornament, and that area is dull, just dull, and it doesn't seem to come off no matter what you do. So just try to refrain from grabbing the glue strings. We'll get them all off at the end, not a problem. So here I'm using 5 different ornaments. I'm using a white, red, and green mix with a red, solid red, and then what is this, textured red, and then a regular green and a glitter green. I have no problem if there's 2 greens next to each other or 2 reds next to each other. I'm okay with that. If you don't like that, you may want to add some silver, some gold, or any other color in your mix. And lastly, I'm using these are about 2.5 inches, 2 1/4, almost 3 inches round. So I'm using these, and it took, I think, 44 of these and then one smaller one. You could use much larger, you could use much smaller, you can use whatever size you want. Just know you're going to get a different outcome for for your different sizes are going to get a different outcome. I found with these, I got a fairly circular end result, and that's what I was going for. Alright, so let me show you how to glue these on, and then I will get out of here and put a bunch on and then come back and check in, because I know you don't want to sit here and watch hot glue dry, right? So I'm gonna glue this. I'm gonna glue here, and I'm gonna glue here. And if there's an ornament beside it, I'll put it on each side too, so as many points of contact as possible. And like I said, I have not had any problem with, yeah, see, this is gonna fit right in there. You see how that's sort of touching? It's touching the white and the green. So I'm gonna put a bit of glue on all of that, just so it sits nicely. And don't worry about seeing any of the glue or anything. That is all gonna be really well hidden. So just a little glue there. A little glue there. A little glue here. And again, don't worry, everything will be hidden. And then a little glue on the bottom. I know it's very hard to see, but I think that you guys understand what I'm saying, right? So you give it a moment to let it dry, so it's glued down in 1, 2, 4 points, 4 areas, so it's not really going anywhere. See, I tried to grab the glue string. You know, and that is basically what you do. For some reason, my OCD is telling me go around, but right about halfway mark, you just start putting them where it looks like you need one. You know, just throwing that out there. Let's go with this glitter guy. No, let's go with this one. Not that it matters. So this is exactly the same. I'm gonna put glue on that top, where the ornament hook would be. I'm gonna put some right there. Right there, and then right under it. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do that. I'm gonna come back when I get some more done and show you. Okay, be right back. Okay, I am back. I am about halfway through putting the ornaments on. You just kind of go around and you place ornaments where you want them. You can take the stick out if you so choose. What I wanted to show at this stage is that you're gonna have gaps. Okay, there's going to be gaps in there. There's nothing to worry about. We are going to hide them. You won't see them. Another option, if you wanted to, if having the gaps really bother you, you could put a smaller ornament in there. I don't want to do that because it distorts the shape. But if that's what the direction you want to go, it's not a wrong direction. So just wanted to show that. As for me, we're going to use the garland to hide the gaps. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've filled everything, covered as many of the ornament balls as I can get on here, now it's time to start handling the gaps, which is super easy. Using garland, you just put the glue in there, cut a piece of garland that you think will fit the space that you want, and glue it in. It's that simple. So I'm just going to kind of turn this upright, or not upright, but so it's not leaning either particular direction. I'm going to put the glue in there, and find that piece of garland I just cut, and then just kind of shove it in there. Make sure you kind of poke it in so that it gets into the glue. And it covers the gap. It makes it look like it was supposed to be there, you know? It makes it look intentional. Yeah, no more gaps here. So here's a nice big one. Do this one. That's pretty good sized. But that's why I got the extra furry garland. Be careful with the ends of this stuff. Once you start cutting on it, it will want to try to unravel. Because there's like a seam stitched in it, and that's kind of, I guess, what keeps it together. But it'll want to try to unravel on you, but you know, not too bad. Just be careful with it, that's all. Don't pull. Don't pull on the end. That's what I'm trying to say. So just kind of stuff it in there. Fluff it up. That was a good example of the unraveling. There. See? Just like it was supposed to be. Here's another one. Here's another good sized gap right there. See, and I think the garland looks cool, all fluffy and fluffing out like that. So I definitely like the look. And again, don't worry about your glue strings. We'll be able to get those off easily at the end with our heat gun. Just kind of zap them into oblivion. Alright, so there's that. I will come back when I get a little more done and show you the final result. Okay, so here we are. This is the finished product. You know, you can see that the garland has really camouflaged the gaps, and it looks super fun and festive, and like I said, it's the exact color that I need it to be. And then I just added the leftover garland and a few extra ornaments into the bottom just for it to be more decorative than looking at the concrete. I chose to do these instead of like putting anything else in there so I can take this out and when we go to store it. So they're just laying in there. It's simple as that. So I will go put them up and show you what they look like on display. Okay guys, so there they are. Those are the two finished topiary pieces. They are in their place. I need to add the lights that shine upwards and put some bows on the garland, and that will be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project, and I will be back soon. Talk to y'all later. Bye.